a few housekeeping things. We have the webinar on listen-only mode, so we will be taking questions at the end, but in the event that you have a question during the call, feel free to chat your question in or raise your hand, and we'll be sure to note it for the question session at the end.
Thanks, Kelsey. Hi, everyone. This is Lucy Melcher from Share Our Strengths Advocacy Team. We are really excited for you to be joining us today to talk about engaging elected officials and helping to spread the word about the Summer Meals Program. Oh, hold on one second. Sorry, we're going to switch slides. Great. We are very grateful today to have the support of the Arby's Foundation Schools in Food Out campaign in support of this webinar. So we're very thankful for Arby's for the support of all that they do on our summer meals work. So there are going to be three of us chatting with you today. Myself, Lucy Melcher, the Associate Director of Advocacy at Share Our Strengths. I'm also excited to have my colleague Bernadette Derrida here, our Advocacy Manager. I think many of you worked with us in the past and will be excited to get to know Bernadette. She has recently joined our team and will be a key player in our advocacy work moving forward. And we're also really excited to have Rebecca Frazen from the Greater Chicago Food Depository, our great partner in Illinois, who does a phenomenal job engaging their elected officials as just one component of their really phenomenal work that they do on the Summer Meals Program. So we're excited to hear a little bit directly from Rebecca about the work that they're doing. I'm going to turn it over to Bernadette now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much again for joining us. We're happy to talk to you today. So I think many of you will probably have a good understanding of what Share Our Strengths does in our No Kid Hungry campaign, but I just wanted to quickly go over for new folks on the phone. Share Our Strengths has one really overarching goal, and that's ending childhood hunger in America. And through our No Kid Hungry campaign, we're doing this all year round by working to connect kids to the federal nutrition programs and school programs that are out there. So that's work on school breakfast, after-school programs such as the After School Meals Program and Summer Meals. And we're connecting kids through really great public and private partnerships, working with folks on the ground, working with folks like yourself who are implementing programs like sponsors, government agencies, school districts and superintendents, and folks who have a vested interest in ensuring that children are connected to the nutritional food that they need at school. So today's webinar, we're going to really talk about our summer meal site visits in the context of summer as the hungriest time of the year. So we all know that hunger is a huge challenge in our country. There's far too many children who are going hungry every single day. 1 out of 5 kids in America are facing hunger, which is really a dramatic number. And especially when it comes to the summertime, this is where we really see most kids going hungry. During the school year, they have the support, kids who need it, they have the support of the school meals programs. They're able to get free or reduced price lunch in their schools. They're able to get free reduced price breakfast. But really when it comes to school time, out of the 22 million kids getting school lunch, only about 4 million are actually accessing the Summer Meals Program. And that's through a whole host of reasons which we're going to go into. But it's really a huge challenge. This is why your active participation and promotion of the Summer Meals Program is so important. So the reason why this particular year our emphasis is on the Summer Meals Program and talking about summer hunger significantly, you may see a lot of information coming out from Share Our Strengths and the No Kid Hungry campaign about summer hunger. It's because this is our 1 in 5 year chance to fix a lot of the programs and enhance the programs that involve with feeding children throughout the school year. So especially, it's called the Child Nutrition Reauthorization Bill, and that is it's up for reauthorization by the end of September. And this is, again, the 1 in 5 year chance where Congress takes a look at all of the programs, including WIC and school lunch, and takes a look at all of these different programs and figures out ways that they can improve the programs, enhance the programs, and make any changes to the programs in order to feed kids more effectively. And so knowing how dramatic the Summer Hunger Challenge is, we're really diving into that this year by looking at the Summer Meals Program and what we can do to enhance the program and reach more kids. So, a little bit more about that. So it's time to improve the program because it hasn't been changed in 40 years. It was a program developed literally 40 years ago, implemented as part of child nutrition reauthorization that year. And right now we know in the summer not enough children are receiving the program, but it also has a huge impact on families as well. We know that families are more food insecure in the summer, that they end up spending an additional resources over summer months to supplement the nutrition that kids would normally be receiving during school time. Families spend $300 a month on average in the summer. And these are families who are making difficult choices in order to provide food for their kids in the summertime. They might have to be skipping out on medicine or not paying bills in order to provide for those extra resources. One of the big challenges to the program are things like the congregate feeding requirements, things that require children to come to a site, consume a meal on the site before they can leave. It's a great program when it works in that way, and so many of you are operating phenomenally enriching activities during the summertime. However, 30% of children are living outside of areas where they can even access sites like the ones that you are operating. So there's a variety of different barriers in place that we're trying to work with Congress to address and improve the program.
Great, thanks Bernadette. So let's get into a little bit more of a conversation about why engaging elected officials is an important component of not only our advocacy work, but also of our programmatic work. So we know that usually elected officials have a key role to play in helping to raise awareness about the Summer Meals Program. From a programmatic standpoint, I know Rebecca will touch on this more in her conversation. They are able to help raise awareness about the program, point constituents to resources in their community, and really help promote the program. And what we want to talk about a little bit more today is that, as Bernadette said, child nutrition reauthorization is moving forward this year. And this year, the importance of getting summer elected officials out to summer meal sites isn't just because we want them to help promote the program and be aware of it, because we need to make sure that they understand the challenges that communities are facing and the policy opportunities that are available to help improve the programs and make sure that they're reaching even more kids. So there's three main ways that we really think that elected officials can help make a difference: by visiting a summer meal site, seeing the program firsthand, helping to raise awareness in the media about the program, and then promoting it directly to constituents. So visiting a summer meal site is always sort of the most direct way to get people engaged in the program, to understand why this program is so important, to hear from parents and kids and site staff to understand, what the opportunity is. It's also a great way to help build media awareness that we'll talk about a little bit more. I know that inviting an elected official to see a summer meal site can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. It can seem like there's a lot of sort of moving pieces. There's a lot of logistics to coordinate, which is true. But there's also a lot of great resources out there. We'll be sharing resources with you. We have toolkits. We have really great materials and things to help you plan that visit and help make it as seamless as possible. And as Bernadette said, this is our one in every 5 year chance that we get to really do a better job of feeding kids in the summer through making some big policy changes to the program. So if there was ever a summer that you were considering getting your elected officials out to visit a summer meal site, this is it. We have so many new members of Congress that need to understand what this program is and how it operates in communities. We have people that have been around for a long time that need to do a better job of understanding what the challenges are and how we can improve the program. And we all need to make sure that we're all working together to really make sure that members are understanding exactly what's happening on the ground. I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca now to talk a little bit about what they are doing in Chicago.
Thank you, Lucy, and thanks everyone for having me on this call. So as you can see on the slide that was just put up, we at the Food Depository have made it a priority to do outreach to our elected officials about a myriad of things, but last year we really made it a goal of ours to reach out to as much of, we have the Cook County delegation of Illinois and have them come to a summer meal site. This has been a priority not just for summer meals, but throughout the whole year of getting them to any site that they possibly can. And this has really benefited us, but I think benefited the legislators more. So just walking you through briefly the process, and I know it seems overwhelming and legislators seem sometimes untouchable, but I think they enjoy this a little bit more than maybe we even enjoy this, and they will probably want to come back for more. So right about now is when I send notes and phone calls to the district schedulers of all the members and say to them, we know that last year you came to visit a summer meal site with us, or we want to bring your attention to this child nutrition reauthorization and have you come visit a summer meal site. We just want to have you see the program in action. And they're open, tell them the dates that the sites are open, and say we'll figure out with you what site works and the time you want, but keep us in mind when you're doing your summer planning. They have a couple weeks off, I think a week or two off in June, sometime in July, and then August was our biggest amount of people because they have the entire August recess. So we just start now. It's never too early to start this outreach, to start garnering the relationship with the scheduler and putting it in their minds. From that, we actually got a good amount of member meetings. And for the meetings that we weren't able to get with members, we actually invited staff. And so we were able to have the majority of our delegation, which is around 10 or 11 people, come out, whether it be themselves as members or staff, because the staff then put it back to their members, and they have been really helpful with us throughout the year of sending tweets and things like that, just because they were able to see that. And this year have said to us that we want to make our member come out. So when we do putting the site together, we go and find a site through a few different ways. One, at the Food Depository, we sponsored last year about 90 sites, and this year we're sponsoring around 220 sites. So we will first try to pick from a site that we sponsor, just because we have the connection there. And if that doesn't work, we work with our local No Kid Hungry group here to help facilitate a site that would be open to us coming in from the Greater Chicago Food Depository and would open their doors. So actually on here, the sites pictures with Representatives Schakowsky and Duckworth are our sites, but the other two are ones that were just our partners that had us come in, and we're more than happy to do that. When the legislators ended up coming, what we had them do was a few different things. If they felt comfortable handing out the meals, we put them in that. So you'll see in the top right corner, Representative Duckworth sat for 30 minutes and just handed out meals to the kids and really had that interaction. And I think there's nothing more important than them actually seeing the smile on the kids' face and how much they appreciate it. And that just speaks wonders of how important this program is. Other times they just sat, walked around, talked to the kids. Representative Quigley played on the playground with the kids. It's just whatever they want, it becomes just an incredible time for them. And then we take them aside and had a small meeting with them on, this is what you saw, and this is how we can make this better. We prepared a leave behind with the help of Lucy, and Sheriff Strength helped us put together. But what we had in there was a list of all the sites in their districts, ways that they can communicate to different people about where the sites are and how to find them, and also what we want changed within the child nutrition reauthorization. So yes, we wanted this to be a fun time for them and to be outside in the summer, but also we want them to know that there are things that can make this program better. And the conversation didn't stop there. What happened for most of these is there was things that the legislators did themselves. So Representative Duckworth and Quigley both contacted me afterwards and said, can we write a 1-minute or 5-minute speech? And we worked with them. And Representative Quigley actually gave a 5-minute speech on the floor about summer meals, how this visit impacted him, and how we need to change it within the new child nutrition reauthorization. And Representative Duckworth gave a 1-minute on that. And Representative Jan Schakowsky actually took to this program and was completely upset about how there was kids not using it. And she put together a press conference and had us there, as well as a site that was actually hosted by a local alderman. And we put on this, we had the 2 or 3 news outlets come, and they learned from them all about summer meals, and they took it upon themselves. And actually many of these legislators have reached out to me already this summer to see how can we help even more. And what we've decided to do more of this summer is not just having them come to visit, but also having them post on their websites, here's how to find a summer meal, using the texting hotline, an app, or whatever we have here in Illinois, having them take that and use it. And I know we're talking all about federal and how that's important, but we've actually done that on every single level. So we have a lot of electeds in the city of Chicago. So our aldermen, our commissioners, and our state legislature, we haven't pushed coming to a site, but we've pushed getting the word out with them, and they take to that so well. And then ultimately that can help us have them talk to federal legislators when this comes back up within the reauthorization. So where our plan for this summer is already having all of those electeds come out again, and hopefully the ones that we had staff come to the come see for themselves. The visits, just so I kind of went over a little briefly, most of them were just one site. We run a program, which I think we'll touch on a little briefly later, but a lunch bus that travels around the district. If that was in their district, because it's so unique, we ended up doing 2 different sites, one a standalone at a local Y or something like that, and then a lunch bus site. It all depended on the member. So, and they just, I think, they hear about the legislation from Lucy and her team all the time in D.C., but what really makes an impact is actually them seeing it firsthand, and we have found that this reaching out and doing all of this work has been so meaningful for us, and I know will help us when September rolls along. So I think I've talked for quite a while. I'll stop talking, but I'm open for any questions or to help any of you out in doing your outreach.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. This is Lucy again. Really appreciate that. You guys do such great work and such a great example of how your engagement of your congressional delegation has really helped increase awareness about the program, but also really helped on the policy side. And I know that there are some audio issues that folks are having. Continue to chat in any questions you have. We are trying to work on the audio piece as well. So wanted to talk a little bit about sort of this summer and why, again, the opportunity is so unique that we had ahead of us. When we visit summer meal sites, as Rebecca talked about, it's a great opportunity to sort of see a couple of different sites, whether it's a great YMCA that's doing a program or a mobile meals program. But as we're going into the summer, we really want to put a focus on sort of showing where the challenges are and using the site visit to highlight the changes that you're able to see, really using it to tell a story. I'll just give a quick example of this. Last summer, I joined one of Rebecca's colleagues down in southern Illinois to do a site visit with a member of Congress. And it was his first time visiting a summer meal site, and it went great. And he really loved it. We were at this beautiful park. And he was able to really sort of understand the program and get a better sort of feel for it. The area just outside of this district was pretty rural. It was, the kids were easily able to get to the site that we were at, but it was clear that there were a lot of rural challenges that the site was, that the community in general was facing. And it was also, we happened to be there on a beautiful day, so the kids were running around, and it was great. And as we were talking about the site and the visit, he started to sort of ask a couple of questions, like, how do you deal with kids that live 20 miles away from this site? How are we making sure that they have food in the summer? What about if it rains? Do they have to sit outside in the rain? And we were able to sort of naturally start that conversation that presents some of the barriers that a lot of sponsors see over the summer and sort of highlight some of the changes that we're hoping to see just to make sure that this program is reaching as many kids as possible. So as you're planning your site visit, think about what your community looks like, what your priorities are for child nutrition reauthorization, and how you use the site visit to tell that story. So is it that you live in a rural state and you want to be able to highlight for your members of Congress just how challenging it is to get kids to a summer meal site when there may be 40, 50, 60 miles distance between sites? In Chicago, we've had heard a lot about concerns that they've had over safety issues, and there's been a lot of gang violence over the last couple of summers in Chicago, and thinking about where that might present an opportunity to provide some flexibility to the program and think about new ways that we could make sure that kids have meals and are safe. Do you come from a state that has extreme weather in the summer, or are there forest fires or tornado watches? And think about how you would start to tell that story through your site visit. So again, usually whenever we do a site visit, whether it's for a school breakfast program or a summer meals program, we always want to take members of Congress to see the best of the best, and this is an opportunity to really sort of highlight where the challenges are. So Rebecca touched on a lot of this already, but just wanted to highlight a few materials that we have that we will also be updating, and we'll be sharing in a follow-up, a new toolkit that we're going to have. So as you're planning your site visit, thinking about the members of Congress that you want to work with, start now. Schedules get very booked up. August recess is always a crazy time, mostly for you guys because the summer is wrapping up and you're trying to finish your programs. July 4th recess is a great opportunity to get folks out to sites, but start putting those requests in now because members' schedules book up quickly, and if you can secure a couple of hours of their time, it's best to do that. So in the toolkit that we send out, we'll have a sample invite for you to share with them. Also, always feel free to reach out to Bernadette and me. We're always helpful to put you in touch directly with your members of Congress and help shepherd that invite along. It's always great to offer the elected official a speaking opportunity. Sometimes they'll want to do a press conference, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you, as a sort of the person organizing, might think this isn't a great opportunity to invite press and don't want to turn it into a press conference. That's totally fine. The members usually look to your judgment. But it's always nice to sort of offer them some sort of a speaking role in the conversation. And make sure you have some resources and materials to leave with them. Our website that we'll be sharing just a few slides has state-specific resources, includes some fact sheets and information, things for them to really understand how this site visit sort of plays into the larger conversation. And then, again, the toolkit that we will have is on the Center for Best Practices resource website, which we'll have for you shortly. I also wanted to mention that we have a big focus, again, on getting members of Congress to visit sites, which is always great. Don't overlook staff. Their staff often have some of the most powerful voices on Capitol Hill. Last summer, we took about 40 staff members to summer meal sites, and those have been some of the most effective relationships that we've had. It's, first of all, a lot easier to schedule a staffer than to schedule a member of Congress, and they're always happy to attend on behalf of their boss. So really don't overlook that as a great opportunity for some of those folks that you already have district relationships with and others. It's a great opportunity to get staff engaged. So just another couple logistical things that I know Rebecca touched on. If you're going to do press around it, always have a media advisory. We'll have templates for you around this as well. Think about how to post pictures on social media. Make sure that the you're getting as much sort of leverage out of this event as you possibly can. And then again, really remember to tell the story and to use your voice to make sure that your priorities are being heard by the member and that this is really a great experience for them to see the program and understand what it is that you're looking to get out of child nutrition reauthorization this year. Great. I'm going to turn it back over to Bernadette.
All right. So Rebecca kind of already, we keep citing Rebecca because she did such a great job of telling really how to actively do a lot of these types of things. But again, yes, we have a lot of really important policy conversations to have with elected officials and their offices this year. But at the same time, we know that any promotion of these programs is helpful and will lead to hopefully connecting more kids to the summer meals that you are serving, because policy will impact future kids, but you have kids this summer who need to get meals in your community. So feel free to use these elected officials to leverage the program and get them to record messages or invite folks to get in touch with their office to connect them to summer meals sites. Incorporate any other, make sure they have flyers and at their office, especially their district office, whose job it is to work with constituents on challenges that they are facing. So really make sure that you are able to leave that visit with good connection to the district office, so that way they can help to promote the program through their website by handing out flyers or by any other engagement that they are doing on an everyday basis. It's really always amazing to me when you talk to district offices how, unless you are going to them sometimes with this types of information, there's just so many programs for them to know about that they can't know about them all. So even though you think your program may be really disseminated, the information is out there, you think that people know, getting those folks who have a really clear voice to certain community members and community leaders to be aware of your program is a really helpful way to encourage more participation in the summer meals program. So again, as Lucy mentioned, in addition, so the Center for Best Practices at Share Our Strength is a huge way that we support organizations across the country by giving samples, toolkits, providing examples, and really literally sharing best practices of how folks are getting these things accomplished. We also have more information for you about the summer hunger crisis and about the policies that we're working on with regards to child nutrition reauthorization, and those are all located at the website that you're seeing on the screen right now. So feel free to click on that link or go to that site later today and play around to learn a little bit more about summer hunger and why the challenges are so important for us to address this year. And then if you want to get more specific information about your state, your communities, we have on that Summer Hunger website, you can click Deeper Dive, and it will bring you here. Or here's the direct link at the top of the screen to this kind of information. So this is just a screenshot, but if you scroll down, you would even see more research data, background information about the challenges of summer hunger and the importance of the Summer Meals Program, really talking about what summer hunger looks like in your community. Again, you know, the Center for Best Practices is always willing to help you through your particular challenges or provide you with innovative ideas to how to reach your community. Or Lucy and I are always available to talk through any advocacy activities or engagement processes that you would like to know more about. So I think that's all for us today. We're really excited about the opportunities that you all have ahead of you this summer. We think it's a really important summer, and we are so grateful for all of you in advance for making sure that your elected officials are aware of the summer hunger problem that our country faces and the incredible work that you're doing in your unique communities. So we'll open it up for questions now, and hopefully you guys have some for us, and we can answer those or get back to you with more information. So we're going to have Kelsey run the line and move your questions out.
So we have one question from Katie. Jeff, I'm not an expert on CNR legislation. What changes are recommended? Is there a one-pager for reps that has No Kid Hungry's ideas on this?
Hi, this is Lucy. Yes, there is. So if you go to the website that we were just on, nokidhungry.org/policy, it includes our policy recommendations. So again, those are just representative of our organization. I know lots of folks on the ground have their own policy priorities. I will say when we came up with these ideas, perhaps the changes we want to see from the law in the law this year, we did a survey of all of our state partners. We heard from folks on the ground, really wanted to see what challenges were that were affecting summer meal participation and how we could do a better job through the federal process and federal law of solving some of those problems. So this is a broad overview of our policy priorities for folks who don't know. We are looking really to strengthen the site-based model however we can, continue to incentivize more sites and more ways of getting kids to summer meal sites, but also really looking at providing states more options to reach kids in hard-to-reach areas. We really like the summer EBT option, which provides some families an additional benefit through either SNAP or WIC during the summer months to help where they're not able to get summer meals. And we think that there's been some great things tested out in the field that allow kids to take a meal home if they can't get to the site the next day, do meal delivery like Meals on Wheels and other things like that that we think would really help kids very much in rural areas, but also in other areas that are hard to reach with the current program.
Another question from Jacqueline. Yeah, I'm in a rural area and students are spread out. While I do not offer hot meals, I do provide healthy snacks for those attending summer reading programs. How can elected officials assist with children in rural areas who may lack transportation to places that provide meals?
Well, this is my favorite question to answer. That's exactly what we're trying to do through Child Nutrition Reauthorization. So I would actually, if we can go to the next slide that has our contact information on it. If you want to shoot Bernadette and me an email directly, we can follow up with you on that because we have some very specific talking points and requests that help strengthen the issue in rural areas specifically. And for other folks on the phone who are interested, we're really looking at using this summer to take members to see summer meal sites in rural areas so that they get a better understanding of the transportation barriers that are at hand and thinking about the policy solutions that should go along with that. So we're happy to follow up on that. The website, again, nokidhungry.org/policy, has a whole position paper that we did that focuses specifically on the summer meals program in rural areas. We'd love to talk more about that as well. Any other questions?
And if you wanted to raise your hand as well, we can unmute you if you'd like to answer or ask your question verbally over the phone. I know the chat's not for everyone, so feel free to just raise your hand. Okay. Great. Well, it looks like we just have a couple of questions. I think so.
But again, feel free to follow up with any of the three of us with questions. You know, again, this is our shot this summer to make sure that we get the changes that we need to do a better job of feeding kids. We won't have this chance again next summer. So if you're going to think about incorporating advocacy into the work that you're doing, this is the year to do it. We want to be a resource for you and be as helpful as we possibly can in thinking through every step of that process and how we can support the amazing work that you all are doing on the ground. So good luck with your summer planning as you enter the last few weeks before a lot of your site kickoff dates. And we're really excited to work with you moving forward. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon.